Hello, welcome to Nayru's Den, the best brick and mortar Legend of Zelda exclusive cosplay shop you'll ever find anywhere. I am Kassandra, and I'll be helping you today. So what can I help you with? Okay, so of course you're looking for a Zelda cosplay, and okay, we spoke on the phone. Yes, I remember that. Basically, let me make sure I have this right. You want a Legend of Zelda cosplay, of course, but you weren't quite sure about which character, which costume you would like to have made. Alright, so you just basically wanted some guidance, and then if you felt like proceeding, we would do so. Alright, so that sounds great to me. This is the perfect place if you need guidance on your cosplay choice. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look through my reference books, I have for character choice. We're going to decide on a character for you and talk about it a little bit, make sure it's what you want. And then if you have time, if you decide on a character, and if you want to proceed, then we'll proceed and I will take your measurements so we can get started as soon as possible. Does that sound good? Alright, if we reach a point after deciding on a character, or once we get done looking at characters, and you can't decide on one, and you want to think about it longer, that's fine. If you don't want to proceed with Nayru's Den as your Zelda cosplay supplier, that's fine. And if you don't have time for measurements right now, that's fine. Because it is something of an extensive process, we do like to produce the most fitting, most quality products that we possibly can, right? Yeah. So we will be using two primary sources today. So the first is this Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild art and guide book, mostly art book. Creating a Champion has Z for Zelda and the Master Sword and a Silent Princess flower on the front. So as you can see, it's just sort of filled with lovely art and lots of information, but that's not what we'll be going through today. And the other one, which we'll be starting with, is this lovely The Legend of Zelda Art and Artifacts book, which is a little bit ripped here. I need to figure out how to fix it. I will one day. So, as you can see, it has this beautiful sort of gilded royal crest of the royal family of Hyrule on the cover, and it's just another lovely book with a lot of lovely art. However, this book covers all of the Zelda games up until Breath of the Wild. So, we can go through, pick a character, whoever you'd like to be, from whatever game you'd like to choose. Okay? The other thing is that you can be any character. So, if it's a child character, for example, if you want to be Wind Waker Link, we can absolutely age him up. If you want a gender-bent character, we can either adjust the character to, resemble the opposite gender and be gender-bent themselves, or we can absolutely make whatever cosplay you'd like. It doesn't matter your gender if you want it to be completely true to form, okay? So first, do you know what level of commonality of character do you want? So by that, I mean, do you want to be someone who is extremely well known? So for example, Link or Zelda or Ganondorf. You have your examples of Link. In all of those cases, there are multiple options within the categories themselves. Or would you like to be a lesser known character who is also still well known? So for example here, we have from the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, we have Saria, who's the forest sage, and a Kokiri girl. The thing about being someone like Saria is it sort of does require the green hair and everything a little bit more. Or also from Ocarina of Time, you have Milan, and who is absolutely adorable. For some reason, This doesn't seem to have Milan as an adult. If you were interested in her, we have some examples of, you know, her Majora's Mask alternate reality self, basically. So she looks a lot like Cremia from Majora's Mask. You could also be her. So these are all characters that if you've played the games, you would absolutely recognize, but a random person who's simply heard of The Legend of Zelda probably won't recognize. You also could be someone extremely silly and obscure. You could be, first of all, you could be basically any villain that we can possibly make. But you could be, I don't know about extremely obscure, because if you played the character, you would still know. If you wanted to do something from Twilight Princess, you could be a bit more obscure. You could be Agatha, or you could be Telma, or one of the children from the village, you know, like Mallow, or you could be Colin. But also you could just be something that's completely crazy. I don't know where you're going. If you're going to a Zelda convention or something, then maybe you want to outdo everyone else, have the most unique cosplay that you possibly can. In which case, you know, maybe you'll, I don't know. Want to be a villain or a monster of some kind, perhaps? Just some obscure, weird little thing that is somewhat human-like. I guess most things aren't that obscure that you could possibly be. You know, it could be something cool. I guess Stalfos is pretty cool. This is a Stalfos. It's a skeleton monster, basically, a dead knight, essentially. And they can be pretty annoying to fight. So you could be pretty annoying to fight yourself. At least when you don't have like that many hearts. So what do you think? Would you prefer something like Saria, like Milan, like from Breath of the Wild, one of the champions? You could be Nifa, who's a Zora girl, or Daruk, who is a Goron. Or we could just pick a Link or a Zelda, if that's what you're interested in. Yeah? Okay. That is fine. Let's proceed then. So, as you may know, from game to game, most games, between most games, Link is a different person entirely. So, for example, Link in Ocarina of Time and in Majora's Mask are the same person, but Link in Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild and Wind Waker, these are all entirely different people. So the Link that you choose is actually pretty important, and you know, there are a lot of options. They all vary a lot by costume, or by, you know, outfit and armor and things. This is where a Breath of the Wild book comes into play, whether or not you choose Breath of the Wild Link or Zelda. You feeling Link a little bit more? Breath of the Wild Zelda is really pretty cool too, but I do like Link cosplays because they don't actually have to be as generic as it feels, sort of. So let me see. I don't know why I don't have this bookmarked, but the Breath of the Wild book does have a list of lots of different outfits from other games. So, just give me one moment. I knew it was around something 70. I was looking in 270, but it's around 170. Page 1. It's not on page 170, but that's around where it is. So, Where are you planning on wearing this? You don't have to even have a reason. That's fine. That sounds great though. Okay. Yeah, if you know anyone else who needs any help, please let me know. Even if they just sort of want to to have a consultation and look for a character as well, even if they don't end up getting the full get up. So, for example, now that we look, we have Breath of the Wild Link, of course, who has a myriad of outfits. Most of Link's, as you probably know, have a couple of outfits, or not most of the Links, I guess several of them have multiple outfits, like the green, red, and blue tunic of Ocarina of Time, the Zora tunic, and the magic armor, and the green tunic of Twilight Princess. But Breath of the Wild Link has quite the closet. But, the other thing is that Breath of the Wild has amiibos that can interact with the Switch, and you can get special, that can get you special items. So, some of the items are just the armor sets of past Links. So, we have the Hero of the Wind set, which is supposed to reflect Wind Waker Link. We have the Hero of Twilight set. Let me get that look for you. Hero of Twilight set. We have the Hero of Twilight set, of course, would be Twilight Princess. We have the Hero of the Sky set, which would be Skyward Sword. We have the Hero of Time set, which would be Ocarina of Time, of course. We have lots of things. There's Sheik's Mask. There's the Fierce Deity set from Wind Waker, which is pretty cool if I do say so myself, although it is definitely less recognizable than something like Link's classic tunic, which is also the problem that you might have with Breath of the Wild Link, whose main outfit is the Champion's tunic, which is blue. This tunic. This blue tunic. I actually learned from this book that they were sort of worried people wouldn't recognize Link as Link, recognize this as a Zelda game. So they have this absolutely adorable picture of the original Link. Sort of. It's not an NES book, obviously, but handing off the Master Sword to Breath of the Wild Link, and I think this is absolutely adorable. What games are you most familiar with? What games have you played at all? You're looking at something that's probably like for one of the console Ocarina of Time up. That makes a lot of sense, and it's a lot easier that way, and more recognizable because it's not just sort of outfits primarily from game guidebooks and things like that. They're more identifiable. So we can go through some of the options. Which games? Okay, do you want to name your favorite games? Okay, so you like Breath of the Wild. I agree. You do enjoy Ocarina of Time. It's got some good nostalgia value. It's not my favorite Zelda game personally. You do like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Majora's Mask, but we'd basically be going off of an Ocarina of Time Kid Link look in that case. So we want to just stick to adult Ocarina of Time Link. Okay. The other thing that's great is that we have this great resource, which is just the Switch itself, or the Wii U if you have it for Wii U. Which is that, let me take off his sword and stuff. The game actually, I'm not sure how well you can see this, but the game actually lets you really examine the outfits. So he can rotate and all of that. and you can really see the details. You can look a lot more at his belt, at his boots, and his tunic all around and everything. And I do have the different sets that you might pick, so we can do that for those as well. So, for example, here's Twilight Princess Link. We can make sure we really get those details down, okay? So, some of the features here. If we go through Ocarina of Time Link, we see that he has these white pants and, you know, there are always basically going to be brown boots. He's got white pants and a sort of standard green tunic with short sleeves and a white undershirt. He has brown gloves that I would be making for you, and these basic belts. And every one of these, Link is wearing the Sheikah Slate, which is from Breath of the Wild, but you don't need to have that, of course. In this case, you know, you have the classic green hat and all of these. I think in this tunic, this is one of the tunics with one of the more vibrant greens, along with the Hero of the Wind / Wind Waker Link set. Cute thing about Wind Waker Link, we can also do his sort of island costume. The blue shirt on the island. Wherever it is, I don't know. But so in the case of the Ocarina of Time Link, we could provide a Master Sword replica for you, and you can pick the shield that you would prefer, unless you want a young Link look, in which case we can get you the Kokiri sword, the little stubby sword that he has as a child, and we can get you your choice of shields. For the child look, you could use the Hylian shield, or the Deku shield, which is the wood shield he uses as a child, or as an adult you could use also the Hylian shield, or the, let me show you, or the mirror shield, which he acquires, or we can make you a replica of the big Goron sword from Ocarina of Time as well. I don't have the Hylian shield on hand actually, in Breath of the Wild ready, but you know what it looks like, I'm sure. So that's Ocarina of Time Link. So let me readjust. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to bump you or anything. We have the Wind Waker Link here, where you see that there's sort of less going on in this outfit. He has a single belt across the waist. He also has the white pants and boots thing going on, but he does not wear gloves. He does not have a white undershirt. He has a pretty simple, just green undershirt under the simple green tunic. Oh, ocarina. Also, we can get you an ocarina. Basically, for any of these, we can get you whatever accessories you would like. Yeah, I definitely understand. We don't have to look at Wind Waker Link too much. It is sort of hard to replicate that one because the style is much, you know, cartoonier. It's a beautiful style, but it doesn't lend itself to cosplay nearly as well. Well, Twilight Princess Link. You want to look at Twilight Princess Link, Ocarina of Time Link, and Breath of the Wild Link? Okay, we can just do that. So, Twilight Princess Link is one of my favorite Links, actually. He's got this quite dark green tunic, and I think he's just so cool. He is wearing, I'm sorry, this sort of high-necked gray shirt with sort of chainmail on under his tunic as well, which seems like a good move when you're being shot at with arrows and stuff. Same deal, your standard hat, also in the dark green color. The actual outfit in the game is pretty textured and looks very realistic, unlike obviously what you have in Ocarina of Time. But Yeah, you've got more belt going on again. Grayish brown pants, brown boots, which I'll measure your feet and we'll just pick from our boots that we have already, because I don't like shoes. Yeah. And let's break down Breath of the Wild Link for you. And for Breath of the Wild Link, I'm assuming you would want him in his standard blue champion's tunic. Because otherwise we have things like you know, the Gerudo set, which is, you know, obviously the outfit Link uses to infiltrate the Gerudos, looking very lovely, but I'm absolutely down to make this if this is what you want. In fact, the female Gerudo outfit comes in many colors, and we can pick any color you'd like. Oh no, any color you'd like. You want to look at the tunic? Yeah, that's fine. Here's the first outfit he gets when he runs out of the Shrine of Resurrection. On the right here, which is just, I think it's just called the old shirt and old trousers or something like that. Or it's just a shabby old shirt, shabby old pants. I assume that's not really what you're looking for. Now, here's the real deal. We have Link's pants, trousers, tights, sort of thing, that are brown in their original dye color, but they can be any color you'd like. In game, you can dye them any color you'd like. If you would like them to do something like, I'm sorry if you can hear any noise. There's some traffic and things like that. But if you'd like his legs to look a little bit more like Ocarina Link White or something like that, then you absolutely can do that. His tunic obviously is blue and has this lovely design on it. And he wears a sort of much more intricate undershirt with more sort of varied gloves, which we will measure out and prepare for you. Lots of belts going on, all of that. If you'd like it to look a little bit more worn, we absolutely can do that. Breath of the Wild Link is obviously very good if you happen to have somewhat longer hair, because he does have a ponytail. You can just put it up as, but honestly the hair doesn't make the Link, you know. Again, the accessories, we can make sure that you do have a Sheikah slate like this. You do have whatever you'd be interested in. We'll make sure that you have a Master Sword if that's what you choose. There are also a myriad of other weapons in Breath of the Wild you could choose from. If you want to sort of have that early game feel, we could have just a stick, which he sort of runs out with. But we have all kinds of weapons. If there was any that you absolutely just fell in love with from the game. Weapons, shields, and things. So, of course, we have Master Sword replicas that we can hook you up with easily. We also can do things like get you just, you know, something sort of early game, or like there's this very basic traveler's sword here, which is just a one-handed weapon in the game that I think the base attack power is like 5 or something like that, whereas the base Master Sword attack power is something like 30, and which is still not the best, but it's okay. Or if you want to have like a really super cool weapon, you could do something like a lion's sword, or an ancient weapon. So you have all of these glowing ancient weapons, such as ancient swords, ancient shields, ancient battle axes, ancient saw blades. The sky is the limit when it comes to ancient weapons, to be honest. I'm struggling to find a picture of a lion's sword, and I won't keep you too long waiting for that. But we can make any outfit from that. But you are sort of looking at the blue. And you want a Master Sword look? Okay. Now the other thing about this is that Link does not have a default head accessory in Breath of the Wild, which is in many ways a blessing for cosplaying, because I'll tell you, that green hat is super cute, but it is a pain to wear. I hate wearing it when I wear my mini Link costumes that I own. So Breath of the Wild playing has a lot of options for something you could wear. This is a pretty creepy sort of concept art thing, but it shows his hood here. This is a hood you can buy in Kakariko Village early on in the game. You also could do nothing. He doesn't have to wear something on his head. He also has options of things like earrings, amber earrings, or topaz earrings, I think, are another option. He can wear a ruby circlet, or I think sapphire circlet, or diamond circlet. Like, this Link is extremely varied, and we can always pick head accessories later, because we can go through and do that some other time if you just want to focus on the outfit. Okay, dope. So you're between, so yeah, to recap, Breath of the Wild Link would have a blue champion's tunic, yellow pants or white, whatever your preference is, or, you know, sort of tan beige, or white. His standard everything, his gloves, his boots, his belts, his everything. We'll decide on a head thing if you go with this head accessory. And Master Sword. Okay, we can get you like a tree branch too or something. Breath of the Wild Link carries multiple weapons. And we can make you a shield. Again, we can make you a Hylian shield. We can make you, or provide you, you know, one of our already made, for the most part, shields from the game. If it's something really obscure, like there's a Rito kite shield I don't think I have on hand, but if you want it, we'll figure it out. If you want us to make a replica paraglider, it does come with a disclaimer, which is that you can't paraglide down from mountains with my paragliders. They're not real paragliders, and I'm guessing that you're not trained to use a paraglider. So I will have some heavy disclaimers on those. Please don't jump out of windows or off of mountains or off of rooftops planning to paraglide down. I'm sure you know that, but you know, you don't want to get sued over someone deciding that your cosplay paraglider is a real paraglider. And for, if you go with Twilight Princess Link or Ocarina of Time Link, what are you deciding? Twilight Princess Breath of the Wild, yes. Did you already say that? I'm not sure, I'm sorry. Twilight Princess Link would include the green tunic, dark green tunic, with all of the belts, all of the stuff, the boots and gloves and everything. He can have the Master Sword, or he can have the Orden Sword if that's your preference. I'm sorry, there's a truck. Or he can have the Orden Sword if that's your preference, the sword that he starts out with in-game, early game. Twilight Princess Link also does have earrings that we can get depending on your piercing status. We either have actual earrings or we can do clip-ons. What else is Twilight Princess Link? Any of the particular accessories that you're interested in, we could make the horse whistle, which he uses to call Epona. The fairy bow that he gets, or slingshot, or ball and chain. We can figure out whatever accessories you want for that as well. So, which are you thinking? Well, the thing is that they're also pretty similar in make. If you'd like, do you have time to be measured? If you'd like, we can do your measurements. They're extensive, and so they'll apply to either of those outfits, or pretty much all of them. So if you change your mind, I can always hold off on getting started for you to decide if you want to go back and, you know, boot up your Wii and see how much you miss playing Twilight Princess, and, or, you know, break out your Switch and go through some of the other armors if you happen to have them and have amiibos to get them. Or you want to go through weapons that appear in Breath of the Wild, or anything, basically anything. We can just look at your measurements and get that going. Does that sound like a thing that you're interested in doing? Okay, let's get started. We'll talk later about your exact final option or final choice, okay? Okay. We'll get started now.